Hello, you too. Right, today's session we're looking at adding by making 10. So we're practicing those number bonds. So let's get yourself ready. So we've got our numicon here, and we're going to be moving the numicon and giving you a representation showing you what each of our number bonds look like up to 10. So we've got 10 add 0. So what we're going to do there is we're going to move that 10 numicon down, and that's going to be just set on its own. 10 and 0 makes 10. Using the 9 numicon, we're going to move that one over. 9 add, and we're going to move the other 1 over because that's going to make 10 again. 9 and 1 make 10. Then we've got 8, and what we're going to need to match with the 8? Well, we're going to need to match the orange 2 numicon so that we make our 10. And you can see each of them are the same size because it's worth the same amount, but they're just made up in different ways. We've then got our 7 blue numicon. How are we going to match it? Well, we're going to need to match it with 3. So we're going to need to turn that yellow 3 upside down and fit into that space. So we've still got 10. 6 and 4. Nice and easy one. They just join straight over on top of each other. And then we've got 5. And is there another one that matches? Well, the only one that matches with 5 to make 10 is going to be another 5. So we've got 5 add 5, 6 and 4, 7 and 3, 8 and 2, 9 and 1, and 10 and 0. These number bonds, we need to know these. We cannot do any of our year 2 work if we don't know these. We're going to need to keep practicing these again and again and again until we get this. If we are struggling, we're going to just need to go home and do some more practicing. There's nothing that we can do about our work unless we know these. It's going to be really tricky for us, so we must remember these. Have a practice at home. Maybe you could pause the video, turn away, have a go yourself at remembering them, writing them down. Now, we're looking at making 10. The next thing we've got on the screen here is our number bonds to 10. We've got our 10 and 0, so 10, no ones. We've just got 10, 10 red counters, no yellow counters. We've then got 9 and 1, 8 and 2, 7 and 3, 6 and 4, 5 and 5, 4 and 6, 3 and 7, 2 and 8, 9 and 1, and 0 and 10. Now I'll go through that one again. But all it was we were going down from 10 red counters to 5 red counters, going all the way up to 0 red counters and 10 yellow counters. You might be able to spot a pattern. You can see here the red counters go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And the yellow counters go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's because as one goes down, one must go up so that we can make the same value. Would it be helpful if we showed them again? Let's try again. We've got 10 and 0, and we've got 10 red counters. We're then going to change one of the red counters to a yellow counter, and we're going to keep going from there. Then we're going to change it to 2 yellows, 3 yellows, 4 yellows, 5 yellows, and then 6 yellows, 7 yellows, 8, 9, and all of them 10. And you can see it's just moving along. If you want to watch that again, we can go back in the video and watch it again for the first time. But these are our number bonds to 10 going down from one way and then going up the other way. Now, using our number bonds to 10, we're going to be making 10. Now, making 10 is one of the most important things that we can do. I do it every single day. All the adults that I know do this, and it's called bridging. Now, bridging is where we've got something like 8 add 7. Now, 8 add 7 requires us to go over a 10 in order to find out what the answer is. Now, one of the ways you could do it is you could put 8 in your head, and you could count 7 fingers up, and you could go 8. But that's going to get quite long and quite not very fast. We're looking for getting our speed up and being really fluent. So we're going to look at this in another way. You've got 8 red counters, 7 blue counters. Now, how can I easily work out what these numbers together are? Well, what I would do is I can see I've got nearly a full 10 frame there. I'm going to move one blue counter over and another blue counter over. And now I've got a full 10 frame. My full 10 frame, and I've got some left over. I can then say, right, I know that's 10. I only need to know what else is in the next frame. And I know it's only half full. And I know 10's in a 10 frame. So I know I've got 10 and I've got 5. So this must be 10 add 5. And rather than thinking I've still got 8 and 7, I've changed those two ones. I've changed those two blue ones to now be 10 reds and 5 blues. So that it's now equals 10 add 5. 10 add 5. I've put it on the other side of the equals because it means the same. Remember, equals is what's on one side is on the other side. 8 reds add 7 blues. I've changed those 2 blues to fill a full 10 frame. So now I've got 10 and 5. Let's have a little look at this one. I've got 5 reds and 7 yellows. Sorry, no, I don't. Silly me. I've got 5 reds, 7 blues. Now, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to move those blues and I'm going to shove them over into the other 10 frame so I can have a full 10 frame. It's much easier for me to count if I can see a full 10. I know it's 10, I'm going to count on from 10. Rather than me going 5, then counting on, then remembering my teen numbers. It's getting very confusing. So I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blues, put them all into a full 10 frame. I've now only got 2 left over. 10 add 2, much easier. There's another way that I could do it. I could have my 5 add 7, but 7's a bigger number. And I know my number bonds to 10. If I've got 5 and 5, I know that 7, I need 3. So I can steal 3 red counters, make them into the blue counters, and now I've got 10 blue and I've got 2 left over. So I've still got 10 and 2. I did that 2 different ways and I still got the same answer of 12. Let's compare these ones. 5 add 7 equals 12. 5 add 7 equals 12. The same, but we can do it 2 different ways. The first way, we could move 5 of the blues to have a 10 and 2. 7 can be split up into partitioned into a 5 and a 2. Now it can be partitioned into other ways, but I've already got my red 5 counters. And I know that to match 5 to get to 10, I'm going to need another 5. So I've decided to partition my 7 into 5 and 2, which means I've moved 5 of the counters into the first 10 frame. I've got 2 left over, so I've got 10 add 2, because I can see that that red 5 and the blue 5, they make that 10. The other way, I don't know if you saw that, I was a bit cheeky, shall I go back? The other way you could do it was on the other 10 frame, I can move 3 of those red counters because I know that the 5 can be split up into a 2 and a 3. Now it could be split up into another way, but I need a 3 for my 7 to make it 10. So it means I've borrowed the 5's 3, I've got 2 left over of my red counters, so it still means 5 add 7 equals 10 add 2. It's the same. I want you to have a challenge on this one. I've got 9 add 5. Now you can try and do it yourself in the 10 frame. 2 different 10 frames. You can maybe have a go at home. But I've shown you another way here. I've got, there's another way of doing it. Maybe pause the video and have a think of what you think the answer might be and how you would do it. So that one of the ways we could have our 10 frame, and we could say our 10 frame, we've got 9 reds, 5 blues, we could borrow a blue, and then we've got a 10 and some left over. The other way that we could do it is we could put our 5 into a part whole model. And we can say, right, we need to split that 5 up into 2 numbers. Which 2 numbers am I going to use when one of them needs to link with the 9? Well, what does 9 need in order to be a 10? My number bonds tell me that 9 and 1 go together in order to make 10, which means if I've done 1 for a part of 5, the other number must be 4. The 9 and the 1 link together, 9 and 1 make 10, and then I've got 4 left over. 10 add 4 equals 14. There was 2 different ways I showed you then. I showed you the part whole model way, and I also showed you this way, where you can try and make 10 in 2 different ways using either of the numbers. You could have seen it easier by moving the 5 blue counters to make it 5 add 5 is 10, and you've got 2 left over. Or you could have seen it the other way, where you could have said, I've got 7 blue counters. I'm going to borrow 3 of the red counters to make 10, and I've got 2 left over. It's the same way of doing it, but it's just whatever works for you. Bridging, making 10 is really, really important in year 2. And I really need you to practice this because we're going to be using it all the time in maths. It's how we do our arithmetic. Thank you very much, year 2, for watching. You've been superstars. Keep practicing at home. I look forward to seeing you in class doing some super work. See you later.